All right. So if there was like a website where you put up dating profiles for your ideal Magic deck, mine would definitely say older, experienced mage in the market for tempo flash deck of his dreams. My heart has been hurt many times before, but I'm willing to take a chance on love again. And here it is. This is my favorite style of deck to play in Modern. I'm ready to have my feelings torn asunder by the dredges and the bridge vines and the Tron lands of the world. But we've got a few new cards here from the new set that we're working with. Hiding under the Red Bull ad is we got 4 copies of Fiery Islet. So we're playing 23 lands here, and we've got 4 of the new Blue-Red Horizon land. Notably, the thing that's different in this mana base from all previous mana bases that I played this archetype is there are no copies of Mutavault in this deck because we have 23 lands and 22 of them make blue mana to make these Archmage's charms castable consistently. Covern, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So I've also got a couple copies of Force of Negation here. Kind of like which counterspells exactly you're playing in this deck have varied from season to season. I've got a smattering of Mana Leak, Remand, and Spell Snare, to which a lot of people ask the question, well, Jeff, why do you play a split of these? And it's a couple of reasons. The first is that there's so many different decks in Modern that situationally Mana Leak, Spell Snare, and Remand are better in different spots. And the other answer is that as games go long, the larger variety of spells that you have in your graveyard, the better your Snapcaster Mages get. So by playing a split on these cards, my Snapcaster Mages get more versatility as things go long. This is mine. We had a number of people donate for me to put build-arounds of my choosing into the queue, and this is the archetype that I top-8'd the Modern Open with last spring, 2018 in Indianapolis, and I really like playing this style of Magic, so let's play some Magic and see how it goes. As always, if you want the exact deck list for easy reference and importing and stuff like that, you can find it on the Stream Decker page or by typing ! Deck in chat. Grixis Delver and Grixis Shadow. After playing Grixis Delver a lot, I think I'd rather just play Grixis Shadow between the two. As far as this versus Grixis Shadow, this deck is closer to a burn deck than anything else, and Grixis Shadow is closer or more akin to a combo deck with its Temur Battle Rage. Nothing embodies the playing Remand in Modern experience quite like turn 1 Aether Vial go. Flooding here a little bit, but already seeing some potential value in our Izzet. Gonna be able to turn that into another card down the line here. I'm gonna keep the Wizard Lightning. I don't have a Wizard yet, obviously, but Aether Vial implies that my opponent is playing a creature-based deck, so probably just an all Doomblades on deck matchup if I had to venture a guess. Maybe Esper Spirits. We've definitely seen black splashes into Spirits before. For Lingering Souls, among other things. What card in Magic's history do I hate most? Teferi Time Raveler. Wilderness Reclamation. Probably one of those two. Listen, if you ever want to guarantee I'm going to say the name of a card wrong indefinitely, you should definitely try and correct me on how to say it. Good way to get me to eternally mispronounce something is try and tell me how to say it correctly. Alright, so how do we feel about take this Aether Vial during their upkeep here before it goes to 3? And the reason why I'm doing this during their upkeep is because if they have a Spell Queller, I don't want them to be able to use the mana to Spell Queller me on my end step. So, Time Raveler essentially says you don't get to do the fun parts of Magic. Time Raveler stops you from playing instants at instant speed, and it punishes you for playing creatures that cost 2 or more mana that don't have enter the battlefield effects. It takes all the fun parts of Magic, in my opinion, and basically says, no, you can't do that. That was great, by the way. Can we pour one out for Archmage's Charm, chat? Can we pour one out for Archmage's Charm? Always no, always yellow. I got a number of 3-mana creatures. We got 6 3-drops. Shock this bad mamma jamma in. Let's draw step the crap out of this Vendilion Clique. Listen, chat, I don't know if this deck is good, but it is certainly great, okay? It speaks to me on a primal level. It satisfies my basic instincts. These urges that I have that run deep. I think Archmage's Charm's the real deal, chat. What if we didn't do that, so you don't have another black mana? Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this Fatal Push. Bye, Felicia. As you will. Archmage's Charm lets my Snapcaster Mage be a divination later, which is sweet. Out of curiosity, do you have any statistics on your viewers below 18? I mean, like, viewers who are under age 18? Is that what you're asking? My only age metrics are what what's it called estimates for me. YouTube estimates for me. Spellstutter Sprite is my favorite Magic card in the history of Magic. This unfortunately makes my Wizard Lightning worse. So we know they have a Spell Queller. I have to click to put this on the stack, even though I said always yes. Oh, I turned off my auto yields, didn't I? No, I didn't. All right, so you say hi to the internet? You can't say hi. Why can't you say hi? Since when are you shy? Who are you and where is Declan?
I'm Declan.
You're Declan?
Yeah.
No, Declan's not shy. You can't be Declan.
I am Declan.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am Declan.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am Declan. I am Declan.
All right, let's pull a sneaky on him here. So they've got Spell Queller, Drog Skull Captain, and then one other card I don't know at the moment. So in response to this, we're gonna vial in Jack B. Nimble, and then Jack B. Nimble makes Wizard's Lightning cost 1. And then this'll happen. Is this gonna happen? Do I want to snap Remand this, or do I want to Wizard Lightning it? I think I'm Wizard Lightning. I think I just want to keep all the dorks off the board. I think because there was a possibility this was my play this turn.
Daddy said
So, sorry, before... So, sorry, to elaborate on what I was saying, I should have played the Scalding Tarn this turn, because I think it was pretty likely that what just happened was going to happen, which means I could have fetched a Steam Vents tapped here, which would have been nice. Actually, it's funny, speaking of Declan, I was putting together decks for this evening stream earlier today, and Declan came into my office and, like, took one look at Magic Online and was like, Daddy, can we play the other card game, the not ugly one? And I was just like, oh, you adorable child. Oh, you adorable child. Can we play the not ugly one? Alright, so I think I'm just casting Opt now. Yep, that can stay there. He's definitely not wrong. He's like his father. He's rude, but he's not wrong. Alright, so they're already through 2 Rattle Chains here, which is their primary 2-mana way to protect a Supreme Phantom. Like a Path to Exile here? Sure. So I'll grab an Island. Grab a Steam Vent. I'm going to hold off on the Wizard's Lightning just in case they have something like Spell Pierce here. Archmage's Charm is a sweet draw. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and draw 2. Well, it was a sweet draw. Maybe I'm just supposed to save that as a cancel. I don't know. Hey, thanks for the half a year, Mugget. I appreciate that. Maybe I'm supposed to hold some of these fetches in the face of a Delver. Alright, that's a bolt. Hey, happy weekend to you too, D20 Bandit. Thanks for keeping me around. If they want to flash in a spell queller to block, I can lightning bolt it before blocked. One thing I'd really like to point out here is that my opponent has 2 cards in hand, and so do we. And the important thing to note is we're kind of staying in this game in spite of the fact that we've drawn an incredible amount of lands, right? Like, my opponent's drawn 4 lands this game, and we currently have 8 lands in play, and we cycled an Izzet earlier. So, I think I actually am going to fetch with this, because there's only 1 fetchable land left in my deck at this point. Yes. Yes, Declan. Sorry, weekend streams mean I have to semi-play Dead Duty a little bit. I'll be right back. I think I just let this happen, because if I draw another burn spell, they're dead. And if I don't draw another burn spell, we'll just kill this. Burst lightning, it's like if Shivan Fire was good. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't think I can reasonably hope to peel another one and just get there from that position. It's a Pocky. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So I think the correct... It's definitely the conservative play, but I think it's correct to Burst Lightning their thing there. Don't Spell Queller me, bro. This is potentially a reason to have held on to... my fetch lands so I could, like, scry with that. My heart skipped a beat. I thought that was a Celestial Colonnade for a second. It was missing artwork. I was like, oh no, not a tapped blue-white land. Not a tapped blue-white land. Dang it, Delver. Yay, Spell Snare was live. This is game 1 still, right? So I'm gonna need to pick up the pace here a little bit with that break to help Declan. Come on. I've never been so happy to see a turn 13 mana leak in my life. Never been so happy to see a turn 13 mana leak. Ship. Have a Path to Exile as the last card. Fatal Push, sure. Unfortunate. Alright, well, they're dead to Wizard Lightning, Burst Lightnings, Bolts, and Snapcaster Mages. Dead do a lot. Go. This is definitely a matchup where most of our counter spells are going to come out. Archmage's Charm will probably be the only one we leave in. That feels great. Cycle my land. Yep. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Well, could be worse. Are these cards good? What do we think? I think there might be something to these cards. All right, so they gotta trade here, right? And then, unfortunately, although the Isle doesn't feel like playing a land, we did play a land, so I can't put this into play tap this turn, unfortunately. Are we conceding? All right, on to the post-board games. Sweet. And then I would bet money we get better post-board than they do. Look at that big pile of stuff. Honestly, this sideboard might have one too many cards for the creature matchup. Well, I guess that's not. Like, this is, I got 6 counterspells I want to cut. I mean, the way my opponent was choked on mana that game, I feel like the Archmage's Charm stealing their thing early definitely won that for us, right? It was definitely largely instrumental. That being said, I think it's worse than all of these cards here, so I'm going to trim the third one. We'll leave 2 in. Do we like this? I could see trimming an Opt. I don't hate that. Like, our deck has enough lands in it. Yeah, I'm going to trim an Opt, actually. I'm bringing in more cheap cards, and, like, we have... their opponent's deck is kind of aggressive, so we have, like, less room to, like, play selection. Let's do that. Not only did we cut them down to 1 plate per turn, but, like, we used the Aether Vial on 3 twice, right? Like, I put Obstructionist and Clique into play off of it, which was really valuable. Does Staticaster do enough? Do their things usually have more than 1 toughness? They have Mausoleum Wanderer, Selfless Spirit, and Rattle Chains that all die to 1 toughness. 1 damage. Izzet Staticaster also notably teams up with 3 damage spells to kill 4 toughness things, which happen on occasion. So they should have 12 things that Staticaster kills on its own. You're right if they have a Lord effect that Staticaster won't kill those things, but generally speaking, we need to kill the Lord sight unseen. How's this league going? Match 1, game 2. Sand's a little bit land heavy, but the spells are good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. I might not quite articulate myself as much as I normally do for the remainder of this match, depending on how the clock goes, because we're currently down 3 minutes on clock, which is not ideal. Turn 1, Delvery do. My opponent has black mana. So far, we've seen Fatal Push and no other black cards. The London Mulligan is not active yet, not until Core Set 20. I'm going to put a stop on my upkeep here, because if this Delver shows me a land, I'm going to opt past it. I do not want to reveal, and I would like to cast Opt. So, Delver letting me know that there's garbage on top that I would like to send away. Also garbage, but slightly less trashy, I guess. Scalding Tarn going to provide a similar thing next turn. I think if they want to trade this for a Mausoleum Wanderer, I'm okay with that trade based on how my hand is, so I'm going to go ahead and offer it. I have the Kelvin frames. If you want an exact link to my frames, you can check out the subs Discord. I posted in the announcement section. I don't want to clutter the command with too many links and stuff. So now that they killed our Delver, I'm just going to go ahead and fetch my Steam Vents tapped here. Opponent missed their 3rd land drop, but it has the Aether Vial. Flooding a little bit, but we've got our land that cycles for later, so that's nice. London Mulligan is only active on Arena for 1 specific event, Sal. So I'm playing the Clique now. I should have done it in response to the Aether Vial activation, but I am playing it now before they get a chance to tick this to 3 with the ability to Spell Queller my Clique. So let's take a peekaboo here and see what's up. Not having drawn any removal is really running us ragged here. I just concede to this. I think I'm just going to concede to this. Time Reveler's like pretty bad news bears for us. I just like can't interact with any other stuff. So I know our hand didn't have any removal in the opener, but like our deck has 10 removal spells in the main deck, and I boarded in 7 more. So like hoping to draw 1, and like what we had an opt to get extra looks too. So we had a lot of looks. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't fault anyone for mulliganing that hand. Nah, it's got turn 1 Delver and other stuff. That's fine. Nice, Don. Yeah, I agree. And hand was fine. It was not ideal, but it was definitely in the range of keepable. Yep. So one of the things you'll notice that I'm sure I'm going to get questions about on this video at some point, and I'll probably get the question because people are going to ask it before they bother watching the video, is this build has a 3-3 split of Burst Lightning and Wizard's Lightning, and the reason for that is while Wizard's Lightning frequently costs 1 mana in this deck, this build has fewer 1 mana wizards in the main deck, so I decided to lean on more Burst Lightnings, so that way I have a wider range of 1 mana removal on the first turn of the game, which is important. Alright, this is going to be one of those never draw 3rd land and die games, isn't it? Hopefully they play Selfless Spirit on turn 2 here, so I can just Burst Lightning it and use my mana. What's it called would be annoying. Just play something that dies to Burst Lightning for me. Supreme Phantom would be annoying because it's a threat that advances their board that I just can't I can't kill with Burst Lightning. So ideally I want them to try and advance their board in a way that dies to Burst. Perfect. And then we'd like to draw an untapped blue source next turn, but beggars won't be choosers, so we'll take any land for sure. Swing and a miss. Magic's low variance, high skill game. A lot of fun. Opinions on Renin 6 Loam decks. I don't know what that means, Don. Like that, what you just described there could mean, you know, 1,000 different things. So like, there isn't an established Loam deck in Modern before Renin 6 exists. So like, what does it look like after Renin 6 exists would be my question. I feel like I don't know the answer to that question. I'm gonna concede to not drawing a land next turn. Am I? Yeah, I think so. Nah, that's not true. If we draw a fetch land, we can be right back in this. Probably dead though. Kept 2 lands on the play, missed our 4th land on 4. What's the... as always, let's play How Unlucky Are We? 53, there were 21 lands in my deck. We're seeing 3 extra cards by turn 4. We are 79% to hit a 3rd land by turn 4. Yep. And now the Mausoleum Wanderer is going to be able to protect the Drogskull Captain. As for Spirits is not established. Modern is a fairly casual format overall that is largely people playing decks that they really enjoy playing more than trying to be truly competitive. It has competitive tournaments, but for all intents and purposes, Modern is essentially competitive EDH for a lot of people. And then they'll Mausoleum Wanderer this, and then they'll play another one of these next turn, and we'll just concede because we can no longer interact with them. That's the name of the game in Modern, is try not to interact too hard. It's unfortunate we just like didn't have another Bolt here, because like if we had another Bolt, we could like kill the Drogskull Captain and then play Magic, but 3rd land took a little bit too long to come off the top here, unfortunately. And that's one of the big problems with playing a fair deck like what we're playing is like, just like in Paper Magic, every fair deck just like randomly dies sometimes. That's just like how Magic the Gathering works. And like these fair decks don't have powerful linear draws to make up for the fact that like they have these games where there's nothing you can do. Whereas like a deck like Dredge or Bridgevine has games where it just like automatically wins. I mean, I guess we snap Wizard Lightning here. you want to read about my opinion on that Planeswalker and lots of other things, I have an article on Cool Stuff Inc. from last week about it. But again, like, as with everything, again, just like, the power level of Magic cards isn't absolute. It's contextual to the format in which they're being played. So, like, is this card good? I don't know. Like, there isn't a yes or no answer to that question. The answer is it depends on, like, a number of other factors. So, like, in the absolute sense, I can't give you a meaningful, educated, well-reasoned response to it. There are people who will lie to you, who are, like, think they know things that they can't actually know without practice, that like to make stuff up to sell Magic cards, but I don't know, I don't believe in doing that. Hot takes, easy fixes. Tell me what's good. Tell me what's bad. There's no substitute for hard work in Magic the Gathering. There's too many variables. You gotta practice. Like, look every season how many established good players, myself included, regularly misevaluate cards in Standard, and then, like, talk about adding new potentially playable cards to the Modern format. It's just like, we just have no idea. It's like when people say incredibly stupid things like Stoneforge Mystic and Splinter Twin are guaranteed too good for Modern. It's like, you literally just can't know that, right? Because there's just too many variables. There's just too much going on for you to say with confidence that these cards are too good or too bad. Naya Featherfelt, but they're right. Yeah, it's definitely my pick, Marty. I miss Splinter Twin too. I got a Felix pop up. I don't have my headphones on. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I have a dashboard for that. Weens. Thanks for checking out the sponsor. I appreciate it. Be sure to drop me a message and let me know which deck you'd like to bump in the queue for that. Sorry, I missed the pop-up. Glad the pop-ups are working. I agree, look, no numbers. The modern that I fell in love with was playing this archetype against Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod. Like, that first match that we played there is, like, such a fantastical example of, like, people are come in when they, like, see us testing new cards. Those will be like, Jeff, what's your record? And, like, your record with a deck is just completely flipping irrelevant to, like, any reasonable, manageable way of determining whether or not a deck is good or bad, right? Like, one, we were playing against a deck in that first match that wasn't really an established archetype, so it was just like my bad brew versus their bad brew. So, like, you can't really determine if whose bad brew is good based off of playing against decks that aren't really established in the format. The second thing that's an important takeaway is, like, that entire match was decided by the fact that I, like, didn't draw a third land in game 3, right? Like, kept reasonable hands games 2 and 3 and just bricked off and died both times. So, like, variance plays a big part into that way, too. I frequently say that playing, like, random miscellaneous matches, like, isn't good testing on platforms like Magic Online and Magic Arena. And when people are testing out new things, it's even less valuable of testing because, you know, to figure out if a deck is good or bad, you don't want to sit there and play your brew against their brew. What you want to do to figure out if a deck is good or bad is play your new idea against other established ideas to see if your deck is good against the other tournament decks. And, like, when a new set like Modern Horizons releases, there's lots of people that are testing new sweet cards because it's fun to play with new things, right? Unfortunately, playing with new things doesn't help you figure out, hey, is this competitive against the decks I actually expect to play against? Maybe I should have shocked this in and bolted this here so I could untap and kill it with Conclave. Definitely wasn't thinking about Liliana when I played my land tapped. Am I just casting, like, Divination with this charm? I might just be casting Divination. The Rack, sure. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to cast this. I'm going to discard this. I'm going to fire up these two and hit this. I'm going to take 4 from these. 3 minus the number of cards in my hand. So this kills Liliana. Shrieking Affliction, sure. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna take 1 and 1 here, and then I think we are actually just taking a rack here, right? It's gonna like take some of their clock and give it to me, basically. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, so if I would have taken Shrieking Affliction, that would have worked. So, like, just to, like, give you a little bit of insight into my feelings, like, not that I'm sure all of you care, but, like, when a moment like that happens in Modern, the Modern community that comments on average, and this isn't to say everyone, but just to let you know where I'm coming from, I feel like turning the stream off at a moment like that, because thinking about the comments that people are going to make, seeing that play, where I'm playing quickly and talking and didn't fully think things through in this new situation that's come up, it's just so rancid and miserable, where, like, people will use that to call me a bad player and stuff like that, and, like, that happens way more often with regards to Modern videos than it happens with regards to Standard and Arena. I know that's not the fault of the people who are here that enjoy Modern content, but that reality of how that happens makes playing Modern a more emotionally taxing experience for me. Because it makes me feel like shit when something like that happens, because I know someone later is going to be an asshole because of that moment. So, like, when you combine that with, like, the fact that, like, low viewer numbers happen with this format, it's just, like, that's one of the big reasons why I've been doing less Modern. So, like, I get it. So, like, but that's the thing, right? Like, you could say it's a vocal minority, but at the end of the day, like, those comments, like, for Francils, for exactly, to just show you how fucked the Magic community is, especially with regards to places like Reddit, there was a Reddit thread where a comment promoting Todd Stevens had more support than a message regarding me, and 1 or 2 people had posted things supporting me, and they just got fucking buried. And just, like, seeing that type of thing is just so miserable. And, like, again, like, that does happen with regards to anything, but, like, when you combine that it happens more often with Modern, and the Modern numbers are worse, it makes me want to not play this format. And that's even before you dive into, like, the I lose money gambling to play that I don't have to lose when I play Arena, and, like, all the other things that go into it. And like for reference, I'm aware that it's largely a vocal minority. I actually wrote, I didn't share it on social media because like it felt like something that would be too, it felt like it would be on the nose to tweet this, but I shared this in the subs Discord as something I wrote earlier this week. Is for the most part, I've taken a large step back from like, I don't post on Reddit myself. I still read news feeds for like political type stuff and like news feed, but I don't really go on the Magic subreddits. Yes, Chalky. Yes is the answer there. Believe it or not, you're unlikely to win when you don't play Magic by missing your second land drop. Nah, I mean, I want to finish the league. Yeah, this hand's kind of mediocre. I guess we're on the play, so maybe I can pass it off as okay. Yeah, I'm going to finish this. I like this deck in theory, Bob, and we just, like, ran bad 2 matches in a row. So I'm going to finish this league up. This will probably be the last deck of the day. Thanks, Prince. At the end of the day, like, if I'm going to put in extra hours, there needs to be some amount of viewer count. Like, 500 is really low, even for. So I'd rather put in more hours, like, during the week this week, when I know we'll have more people around. With the Invitational going on, we'd probably be a low viewer count. We'll see. I guess we'll see where we end up at after the Invitational ends. The Invitational will flood some people back into the looking for other stuff. They're in round 16 now. I'll go tapped land, Scalding Tarn. This card's sweet. Someone else had asked me earlier why this card was in one of the decks we were playing. And I don't know if this card is good, but it's definitely on my short list of... Yeah, maybe I'll just disable YouTube comments for the modern videos, Bob. I could see that. It's definitely on my short list of, like, cards in this set that might be good and we should spend time playing with them to find out. That being said, I'm kind of charming, so I might borrow this Hex Drinker down the line. So, like, the idea of Hex Drinker is that it's a mana sink in the late game, and the reason why you would want something like Hex Drinker is that you would want to play this. So, like, Mono Green Stompy, I think, is a good example of a deck that might want to play this. So, like, Mono Green Stompy, for example, is a deck that's in the market to just play a 2-1 for 1, and then, like, the fact that its level up ability gives you flood insurance in the late game is really good, is, like, the takeaway. So, level up is a sorcery speed activation only, so they can't, like, level up in response to this. Yeah, so like, if this card is good, it's likely going to be good in a shell that wants to play a 2-1 for 1 that also is in the market for getting to the mid game on occasion and having a mana sink when it gets there, basically. Someone asked, have you spent enough time to have an opinion on the light filtering software versus the software filter? I think it works very similar to the software filter. At least my experience has been very similar. So if you're content with your software filter, I would encourage you to just stay with that and not spend money on the glasses. I'm continuing to use them because I like the fact that they don't. So a lot of blue light filtering software colors your monitor red or orange, and it's nice to actually see everything in the color it's intended to. The glasses don't have that effect, which is nice. So same eye benefits, but so I think I'm just gonna let this happen. And then I'm gonna end step, click my... Am I clicking myself or am I gonna click them? Details on how to get into the sub-discord are here. I'm definitely binning this land. Yeah, I'm gonna bin the land. And then I'm gonna click them here, I think. Because backup, they're probably gonna kill this click. Yeah. Random card is definitely worse than Bloodbraid Elf for them, so we'll do that. In this Faerie Conclave, we'd love to draw a Lightning Bolt here, or Wizard Lightning, or Burst Lightning. Some way to kill these. We did not, because we're incredibly unlucky. So we do get to kill this Liliana the Veil at least, but my opponent could potentially turn this into a 4/4 that I have a hard time interacting with from here. Like, if they pump 4 into this, and then pump 4 in next turn, we might just be dead. Yeah, we might actually be dead to this Hex Drinker here, the way things have lined up. Oh, where were you last turn, little lightning bolt? It just gets straight up protection from everything, right? This is actually Progenitus. Yeah, it's only colorless to level it up. Like I said, I think that card might actually be very reasonable. I don't think we can really race here at this point. Definitely had a number. See, like, this is a game, so, like, I talked about those last 2 matches where, like, we kind of lost. There wasn't really meaningful decisions I could have made to play differently. I had a lot of choices in this game. A lot of different points where I could have, like, played a different 3-drop or chosen a different mode on my charm or, like, when I used my charm, etc. I think if I had potentially chosen differently this game ends up going differently. It's like they're going to 11. This is going to put me to 1 and have protection from everything. And like, I don't have like a Blast Zone or Engineered Explosives to kill it here. And like, at most, I can like kick this to a 4 and then have 4, 7, 9. So like, if I had like land and could draw a Lightning Bolt, I could kill them next turn potentially. Maybe they're worried about getting burned out. Because, like, technically, if they, like, ship in with this, I could, like, have 2 burn spells and kill them next turn, but we know we don't have that. Although, I guess I could draw a burn spell and then click myself into another burn spell. I think I would have taken Drinker. Yeah, that's a good line. I could see that. We could also, like, Cloud Set, hit Lily for 3, and then if they Edict me, take their Drinker and sacrifice that instead. That's probably the line. Alright, so we're actually not... Alright, we're not just dead. Are we on the 0 out? I think we're on the 0 out or no? Yeah, got very close, but just can't interact with this. We got close, but they have a card we can't interact with. The Modern story. Modern. Abrade. Got some counter spells. Call it a day. Call it a day. Yeah, like I said, I think if I'd have made better decisions there, we'd probably end up in a better spot. Charm. If I would have taken the, I think Marty and Cloud are right that if I would have not used the Conclave to kill the Liliana and charmed the Drinker that turn, we'd have been fine. Isle and Charm have both felt okay, Pie Guy. We're running a little bit bad, and I've made some bad decisions so far, but both the Canopy Land and Archmage's Charm have felt very reasonable. Hey, Kuzaloo, thanks for the biddies. Hope you're having a great weekend. And Cajun Guy, good evening. Happy Saturday. Did the Invitational end? Our viewer count kicked up, so I assume the Invitational is done. Or wrapping. Done or wrapping. People who are watching Modern there might come on over. My answer to what do you think of X Brew in Modern is always the same. Is it brutal and efficient? Because Modern is a format that's generally about being brutal and efficient. So, like, if your Brew is about doing mopey things like casting Cryptic Command and Gearhulk, it's likely not going to be very good. Wraths and Engineered Explosives still kill it, Marty. It's like True Name Nemesis, basically, but for both sides. It's like True Name, but neither side can target it. People seem to be really excited about the Bridgevine archetype with the new Delve creature. Because never forget, chat, Birthing Pod restricts future creature design space, so we had to ban it. But Faithless Looting in no way, shape, or form restricts the busted graveyard things that constantly get printed. Set after set after set after set. This hand's a little land heavy, but like, this is technically a threat, and this is a cycle, so... Never lucky. In a way, drawing the Delver is, like, not bad here. And for the record, I'm not advocating we ban Faithless Looting. I am very pro unban all the sweet things because, in my opinion, Modern's the format where everybody should just get to play with the sweet toys that they like playing and cast the Magic cards that they find fun to cast that are not more busted than Dredge. I'm not advocating we ban things like Bridgevine and Dredge. I'm just saying let me play with Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod because these cards are significantly worse than other things that are currently legal in the format. Magic's a game where it's just way more fun when you have a deck that really speaks to you. And unban Cloudpost. As someone who has spent a lot of time playing Tron and has spent some time playing Cloudpost in Legacy, I would estimate that Cloudpost in the current Modern format is worse than Tron a significant portion of the time. So if you look at what Cloudpost lands do and what Tron lands do, one of Tron's best plays is turn 3 Karn Liberated. And probabilistically speaking, Cloudpost lands are much worse at casting Karn on turn 3. Now, where Cloudpost lands excel that Tron lands fall short is that Cloudpost lands are much better at being able to play Giant Eldrazi on turns 4 and 5. But if you look at Modern, playing a Giant Eldrazi on turn 4 or 5 is frequently going to be too slow. And again, I'm not saying a lot of people like to take when I say something like that, they don't listen to the words when I use keywords like likely. I am not saying with certainty I know better and am correct. I am just saying based on my wealth of experience that I feel what I have just said is likely the case, which means I feel it warrants testing as opposed to leaving extra toys banned. So again, Magic's an incredibly complex game with a lot of variables going on in it, and it's impossible for me or anyone else to really know what the end result is without lots of practice and experience with those things in this new format. Any thoughts on the Karn Lattice thing? I'm not a huge fan of Karn Lattice inside of traditional Greentron, but I have been impressed with Karn Lattice out of things like Mono Red Prison and things like the Mono Red Prison. What was the other deck that we played? Eldrazi-tron, Amulet. So in Greentron, it feels like, why isn't this just another... A lot of the time in Greentron, it felt like this was like, why isn't this just another copy of any of our bombs? But I think in other decks that frequently don't have 7 mana, because like Greentron, if it has 4 mana, it often has 7. Yeah, I agree, Evan. I think they're too conservative with the ban list. I think it's okay to pull things off and say, hey, we might be wrong about this, but it's sweet, so let's give it a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So we're hoping to draw a burn spell here to finish this off. So burst lightning will be lethal here. I think we're in a pretty good spot regardless here. I guess they have a removal spell for this. I'm less good. Do I just pass here now? I think I just pass here because I can't attack with Faerie Conclave and play Vendilion Clique. And I am not going to draw step this Clique, notably. Maybe I end step it while they don't have mana up. I'm going to end step it while I don't have mana up, because I'm going to have to play it in response to them plussing this anyways. So I might as well just do this. Bloodbraid Elf, Dark Confidant. You can keep all of those. So they've got a wheel spin and a draw step to find a removal spell for this Clique. And even if they do that, I've got 2 draws with the Isle to find a burn spell. So we're going to discard Bob here. Because he's our friend at this point. Why did they concede? Isn't Bloodbraid spinning the wheel the reason you play Jund? Why wouldn't you spin the wheel, opponent? I'll take it, I guess, but like the wheel spinning every good Jund comeback story. So then I drew a Bloodbraid Elf. I think on the draw, especially, I'm going to cut these Force of Negations and bring in these Magma Sprays. This probably shouldn't have been in my deck for game 2. I'm glad we didn't draw them. I don't think Lavaman's quite good enough. Although I guess maybe Hexdrinker changes the dynamic on if Grim Lavamancer is good enough. I have a lot of spot removal, though. I'm going to run it back like this. Maybe Grim's supposed to be in my deck here. Maybe they figured they couldn't win before you hit any burn spell. Not with that attitude, they can't. I had like running BBEs there. Hey, Moogie. Thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Hexdrinker is a card that I think is worth testing. I think it's one of those cards that's got a lot going on with it, so it's difficult to evaluate. I think something like Jund feels like a potentially good shelf for it. We've got a mono-green Stompy deck in the queue that's got 4 copies of it in it that I think is an okay fit as well. So again, this hand's a little bit land heavy, but I've got a couple of pieces of cheap interaction for my opponent's first couple of threats, and I basically have 3 lands that are like land spells, right? Also, you generally don't make your hand better by mulliganing against the deck full of discard spells. Level Up is a sorcery speed, so you do not need to really play around it in any sort of way, shape, or form. Even if they play a Tarmogoyf here, we're actually currently in a position where Tarmogoyf dies to Lightning Bolt, so any 2-drop creature here dies to our next removal spell, which is nice. So we'll go Conclave tap, Bolt your turn 2 play. Liliana of the Veil would potentially be annoying for us. And honestly, maybe the fact that they could have a Liliana of the Veil here means that I should play Conclave and just pass. Because if they play Veil and plus her, I can bolt the Liliana and then untap, play land, Conclave, kill her. And the Scavenging Ooze is just a 2-2 for now. Like, it might get to eat, like, an instant or sorcery out of my graveyard, but it's, like, not that big of a deal. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and play Conclave tapped and pass, planning to use my health total as a bit of a resource here on the Scavenging Ooze. That way I can keep a Planeswalker in check should they play one next turn. Last Hope as well dies to a similar play pattern. Yep, yeah, Horizon started. It's still difficult to get some cards, like they're in short-ish supply. But there are, if you can get the cards, they're illegal. Correct, Mish. Not affected by Hardened Scales, but is affected by Proliferate. Proliferate doesn't care about what types of counters are on it. This is my hand. Isles felt good. Isles felt good. Definitely a constructed playable card. All these things are constructed playable, right? Like, not close. Alright, open the draw, a Snapcaster Mage, or a way to kill this. Good example of I've got a 3-3 split on Lightning, Wizard Lightning and Burst Lightning. Sometimes Wizard Lightning is much worse. I'm gonna be kind of sad here if they play a discard spell. The good news is we didn't get Bloodbraid Elf this turn, so that's nice. So I have to give them a turn with Bobby here, because if I kill Bob first, the Scavenging Ooze is going to get to jump up to a 4/4. If you go to the Elves page on my website, Cloud, there is a link to a primer on Cool Stuff Inc. that actually includes a budget deck list in it. Ooh, sweet. And they just didn't activate Scavenging Ooze because they're afraid of a Snapcaster Mage, which is good for us. I'm going to use Wizard Lightning as opposed to Abrade, even though Wizard Lightning could go to my opponent's face or a Planeswalker, because I feel like resource efficiency is important here. And while the Wizard Lightning could get cheaper at some point in the future, it's not guaranteed, so I'd like to just, like, use my 3 mana to cast my 3 mana spell this turn, guaranteed. Tarmogoyf is the pretty typical 4/5 here. Little bit big, and we're not quite in a position to race them very well, so that could propose an issue. Yeah, Snapcaster Mage is a... Oh, you mean when you snap it back? Yeah. Probably Overgrown Tomb as opposed to Land War Waste, but again, if you look on my website, there is a link to a primer which has it spelled out pretty clearly, Ribson. I wrote it down because it is a frequent question that people have. Hey, what's going on, Bruce? Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. All right, so I guess we just kill this now. And I'm dead in 4 to this Goyf. Part of me wonders if I'm supposed to, like, just 2-for-1 the Goyf and, like, leave them bob and, like, try and just race them. I think the odds of the Faerie Conclaves living through attacks are unlikely, though. It's like my opponent has 3 cards in their hand and they're missing line drops. They likely have spells. Yeah, second Goyf is probably GG. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Viewer count's kind of middling, and we played through 2 leagues. This one was kind of mediocre. For people who are a fan of non-rotating format content, I am planning to do 2 Modern Leagues every single morning this week. So I'm going to be live Monday through Thursday this week with my normal-ish schedules. So rather than doing just 1 Modern League to start the morning so we can work through a bunch of these cards that have sweet decks that have sweet Horizon cards in them, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 each morning. For people who are more a fan of Standard, I'm still going to be doing a similar amount of Standard as I normally do. I'm just going to be running a little bit later on those afternoons. So thanks, as always, everyone, for watching. If you didn't catch this, we played Bant Eldrazi before this league, which went a little bit better than this one. Both of these leagues will be up on YouTube momentarily. They'll be clipped up on Twitch highlights before that. So, everybody, have a good rest of the weekend. Hopefully, catch some of y'all on Monday. I believe Caleb Durward is on, so I'm going to go ahead and send you over his way.